So let's start with security first, because most incidents on campus start with a call to security. Security is located on the first level of the 5,000 building. You can see the picture here. There's a photoshopped arrow. We're on the basement level there of the 5,000 building. I did not Photoshop the pretty rainbow in the picture. But the important thing to know here is on the left of the screen, and that's our phone numbers and our hours. So during the daytime, we're open until 4:30 if you'd like to walk into the office or call us, or you can call extension 4633 in an emergency, and that calls into our office during the daytime hours. Our office staff are also our dispatchers, and they dispatch the officers to you. They might also be calling 911 for you. After hours and over the weekend, call the 206-235-5860. That number is good 24/7, and if you come on a campus after 10 p.m. when we're officially closed, you should call campus security and let them know that you're in a building. In the event of an emergency, they will know that you're in there. And also, don't be surprised if security approaches you after hours and asks for identification, because they should be aware if an employee or someone else is in a building after hours. So let's look at the difference between security officers and police officers. And this is significant because often when security is called, people do expect that security is going to come rushing into the incident. But it's important to know that community colleges in our state do not have police officers. Security officers are not commissioned officers. They do not have a firearm, and they often do not run into a situation, especially if someone is armed. So for certain sorts of crimes and incidents, let's say a verbal or physical altercation, they will come in and intervene just to separate the parties. But if there's an incident like a robbery, for example, then they stay outside, have that duty to observe and report, similar to what you would actually do. But we like the robber to be able to leave the store. We would not go in and trap the robber in the store. So the practice is to let them leave. And police actually do that exact same procedure. But if it's something like a weapon, we call police, call 911, and they will respond. They're the first ones on the scene, and they go in. And so that is significant differences between police and security. Now, we also started a building monitor program, which is just really incredible. And these are employee volunteers that are trained to help security either evacuate a building or to help them shelter in place during an incident. The goal is really to reach everyone in an evacuation and help people leave the building. So they can give you directions. They may have a radio with them. Well, in fact, they will, so that you can communicate with them. And I just ask that you please cooperate and pay attention to the directions that they're giving you. And if there is something to communicate about an emergency or an injury, they can utilize their radio to let security know that. And we have various ways to communicate on campus. And we actually have several ways. So you'll see that here, that the most important one is so that you're sure you're receiving emergency messages. And that's the alert system. And you receive those messages by text, phone, or email. And if you look at the various methods on here, several of us now have emergency radios that are trained to use these in the event only of an emergency. And that would include technology services, facilities uses them, administration, and of course security. The building monitors also have a different sort of radio with them. They can also communicate an emergency during an incident. So that's another level of communication. And last but not least, if we're off campus, you can listen to Cairo 97.3 for additional information. They're kind of the go-to emergency channel. Now, what's really important is that you look at connect.edu and sign up for the way you would like to receive your emergency alerts. It's very easy to do. You go on there, put in your SID or your name, and use your usual password, and pick how you would like to receive the alert messaging. Of course, you want to receive text messaging first and foremost. That's the quickest. You can also receive it by phone and email. If you do not want to get the messages at home, then deselect that option. Otherwise, that emergency message will be sent to your home phone. For faculty, my recommendation is that you do not have the phones completely turned off in your classroom. At least allow students to place it on silence or vibrate so that if an alert does go out, someone in that classroom will take a look at their phone and alert others that there is an emergency on campus. In addition to what I just mentioned, we have a couple other ways on campus to communicate, and that is either by our push-to-talk phones, where you see the large blue light at the top of the phone, and the blue light helps signal us to your location, but it's good if you also know your location as well. There is a resource page attached to this Canvas project where you will have a list of all of the emergency phones on campus. So please take a look at the list so that you know where the closest phone is to your location. At the blue phones, you simply push to talk. They're ADA compliant, there is no dialing, and it goes immediately to the officer on duty's cell phone so that they know there's an emergency and can find you at your location. We also have pull fire alarms. Those are those little red boxes you see inside and outside of buildings. Now those are for fire only. We do not want people running into the halls if there were ever a shooter or a violent incident. When you pull the red fire alarm, that calls the fire department and they are coming even if it's a false alarm. So please only use those for fires.